And overload we did not. Welcome back straight into the GLL finals. Another fan of the helmets, one that's been really putting his hands on him there.
Yeah.
How you doing, Lothar?
Although it's
Welcome
the
in,
third
buddy.
place. Right? This is the third place? Yeah, this
Sure,
is the
that's the
first
first
one.
place.
I got the worst one.
Don't worry about it too much. It fits well with the salmon pink.
Yeah, I guess it kind of
Yeah.
fits.
It does. It
Yeah,
does.
it looks
It's
nice.
fantastic. Absolutely great. Lothar, another fantastic asset we had throughout the GLL series from start to finish. What do you think about the first two matches tonight, man? Because you've seen it all before. Tonight, is it all that you wished it would have been?
Honestly, the teams that we have here, this is nuts. When you watch just the roster,
Yeah.
right?
Just superstars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the known players in our scene are playing today, and that's amazing to see.
Yeah.
So all these strategies that they were perfecting in the past are now being like this is like the culminal moment when when it goes all to fruition, right? So it's actually amazing to behold them play it out. And honestly,
True.
when I saw the first game, Kingwin taking it all, I was kind of happy because I'm a big fan of Kingwin.
Yeah.
And
Same here.
Ibiza was just going off. Really
Absolutely.
amazing to see.
Absolutely. It was even greater to see Larson showing up on the map with those
Yep.
7 frags, right? That's this is the second time I'm calling it out, but it was wow. It's pretty sick. And the timing on the first game as well. But on the second one, so let's talk a little bit about this. The circle on the first game was kind of centralized throughout
Yeah.
the closing end. The second one, not so much, but it had more cover. It had more of a tree-ish area there. Only the very final circle there, when Random actually had to push out of their position there, and Ghost Gaming caught them off guard. Were they in the open? But would you much rather have, or rather, would you rather play inside a circle that is fully randomized but has plenty of cover, which is going to be a thing on the new map, or would you rather have centralized circles? But then again, it kind of gets a bit boring, and center strat becomes that much harder to achieve.
I actually believe that having cover is more important than just having sensorized circles, because the game is more interesting when you have spots that you can hide and you can have some fights between two teams, and you know that you still can peek and not be just killed straight outright because
Yeah.
you don't have anything to hide behind. right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I do believe that that's the better thing to see on the map. At the same time, the new map, the Miramar, right? It's highly open, but you have a lot of like the terrain
Divots,
is
yeah.
like divots and depressions and so on that you can hide in and even crouch prone in.
No depression here.
Yeah, exactly. So
No
I think it's
clowns.
I think it's an amazing map. We're gonna see how the competitive teams will get used to it, but it will change the metagame completely.
Absolutely, I do believe that myself. And if I say it here for the third time, I'm looking at someone. It's gonna actually make vehicles a little less important than they are in the current map on Arrangia.
Yeah.
Because it's so much harder to drive through those divots, right? It's gonna
And
be
they're kind of
super
slower.
And they are
as
slower.
well.
And they're harder to actually control. That's why you have that little tree hanging around the car that says banana, because it literally feels like you're driving on banana slips, it's just super difficult to control those vehicles. And of course, the bike's still going to be a reliable vehicle to cross large areas of the map. But with the bike, you're not going to have that cover.
Yep.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how teams actually develop, because you're going to have to focus more on actually walking into the center rather than actually driving straight through it.
I think
And
it's
that will
more boot on
change
the
meta.
grounds than just
Absolutely,
vehicles.
absolutely. It's going to have to be earlier settlements as well. Even if the circles are larger, they're much harder to actually cross, because even if it's the same kind of territory, 100 meters, when you have 100 meters, but that is
Yeah.
hill and downhill, it takes much longer
That
to
is
cross.
true. But let's take a look at the stats from game number 2. That's something interesting
Oh yeah,
to watch. Here we
there
go.
they go.
Ghost Gaming taking the first place with 16 kills.
That is not teabag indeed. That's actually the same amount of kills, I think, that Kingwin have had for the first one.
They had 19 in general, and let's see how many kills they have in this game. Yes, 3, so it's exactly the same. So it's 16 for the first place in game 1, and in game 2, Kingwin, who did win the first game, now ended up on the 12th place.
Absolutely.
Not the best, but I think it's still enough to actually put them on the top.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of points for 25, but then again, yes, you're right. After the 2 games, considering that it's going to be the exact same position for the first 2, they will be kind of closer to the top. Even though there's teams that are currently in the top 5 that we've seen before, I do believe. We'll see how the scores pan out in just a second here. In the meantime, though, Team Random really loved their rotations as well. Ghost Gaming playing to perfection with a kind of aggressive defense. They didn't actually held on to passive angles. They actually dared to peek and take down other teams early on wherever they went, just to make sure that they have safer crossings. Envious, a team that actually came without too much fighting, but they also showed that they had what it takes when it comes to putting pressure on their enemies. Didn't last for too long though when Ghost Gaming showed up. They just, I don't know, man. I don't know who would.
Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised about Quick Maps because they were so strong yesterday in the Last Chance qualifier, and they were showing a lot of self-discipline when it comes to the rotations, when it comes to the fights and so on. And here, not really that impressive results, but we still have how many games left? 5. That's kind of
That's pretty cool. This is like basically the start of GLL right now.
Yeah.
We got 5 matches left. There
Exactly.
you go. So welcome into GLL. We just we'd love to have you in here. We opened the doors to you. We're very, very happy. It's a great day for PUBG and all that. There you go, ladies and gents. That's kind of the rundown for what happened for first 2 matches. Of course, we're going to still keep trucking through super, super hard as we go forward with this match here. Number 3 is going to be quite interesting because it's still a placement match. It's still a match where teams don't necessarily have to go aggressive. So we're going to see some interesting strats coming out. It's not just going to be a mindless battle for points, for kills, for what name you.
Well, that usually starts to be a thing when you're going to be closer to
6
like
and 7.
game 5, 6, 7, exactly.
That's it.
Because then teams will have a certainty when it comes to the points. Like they will need to be either super aggressive
Or super
or
passive.
very defensive. We have seen
Absolutely.
that yesterday with Cloud9, an example, when they were on the top of the bracket. They even changed their strategy. 2 guys flew to Zaki, 2 guys flew to Nov Georgopol, and they were just waiting out. They, I think they used Muri as a scout. That was just scouting the north side of the map to see if it's clear for
Safe
everyone else. He
passage.
died, then everyone else just went into the different direction, and they were just passive for the entire game until like I think circle number 4 or something like that. So it was a great strategy because that allowed them to be still on the top of a bracket,
To get
even without
placements.
without taking any kind of risks.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So that's one of the things that teams normally do. Sometimes though it doesn't really work out because as the circle strangles closer and closer, there's going to be a higher density of players as you try to go in. Let's see what's going to be happening this time though. The plane is in the sky and it's going to be quite a south side one. It does seem that most of the northern area there, including Georgopol, even including the center of the map in Rashok, won't be taken easily. You could do a long drop there though.
Yeah, well, this is 2.5 kilometers to center of the map, to the most common vehicle spawns north of school and of the apartment, so it's gonna be kind of rough for the teams that are going there. I think FaZe is, as usually, going to
they're
the
going for
Milta.
Milta Power, yeah.
Milta Power.
AAA normal Milta Town. Benta are taking their farm strat as they kind of did 1 week before AM. They started doing this, and it panned out decently for them. They got into the finals for GLL, so they thought, why not keep on doing what we were doing before? It seems to be a decent enough strategy. I'm not too sure what happens with Cud there and where the rest of TOM are right now. I'm looking at the map there, but I can't see too much here. Anyway, we do see that teams are spreading themselves more towards the northern side, even if the plane was easily accessible. Sorry, even if the plane made the military base easily accessible, not a lot of teams actually went in there. Dignitas, one of the teams, they're going to have fantastic loot.
And this is the first time I think this today that they're dropping on military base, because usually their drop is South Georgopol.
To Dignitas, yeah, well, we've seen them before in Millbase.
Today?
And maybe last game. I don't want to say for sure, but
Okay.
I think maybe we've seen them there.
Yesterday, 5 times they dropped on South Georgopol.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? They know Kingwin are going to go there. They know Envious are going to go there. They know that potentially Penta would have went there as well. So they were like, all right, listen, boys, you duke it out there. Don't worry about it too much. We'll follow later on when the circle does show in that area, indeed. There you go. Kingwin and Envious are going to be indeed very, very happy boys. Havu as well, having all of Primos to themselves. And,
Navu with Primos, because, well...
yeah, Gambino as well, putting themselves in a good position not to take anything from them. But, oh, look, Balak actually... How are teams playing so split? Look at Theater of Mayhem. Where is everybody from Theater of Mayhem? If we scroll down on Balak and actually we take control of his camera and then we look at the map again, we're going to see that his teammates are super split up. So it's going to be 3 people coming into Yasnaya as they normally do. That's TOM territory. Nobody actually challenges that a lot nowadays. And Balak might just be playing this one safe to find a compound in the circle and just wait for his teammates to come in.
Yep. It's interesting to see the change of strategy for Envious, because they were dropping hospital and west side
were,
of
yeah, yeah.
Gorgopol yesterday, but that probably is affected by the fact that Kinguin is taking a bit wider spot in Gorgopol, since, an example, Dignitas yesterday was very condensated in Gorgopol. That allowed Envious to take the place on the west side, and in this case, they're being more spread out.
Now look at Ghost Gaming actually going on the western bridge of George. They're not going to be challenged so far. It doesn't look like the boys from Kingwood actually got any kind of good weapons to put a block to that bridge. So they'll have a safe crossing. They're smart thinking from Ghost Gaming, and they'll have themselves the whole northern area there. It looks like Real is in there as well. I'm not too sure if this is a good position for him to be in. Real and one of his teammates as well. I can't see exactly who it is. We'll find out later on. In the meantime, though, we see a lot of teams actually on the very southeast of the Northern Island.
It's going to be problematic for them. They need to either make a shot. This is the shot caller's position
But
right now.
Chinky's got to be mental.
Well, no one knows that no one dropped her, right? Because
No,
even
later on when all these teams go to that point.
depends, because that's like the psychology that you can find in PUBG, right? If there's a red zone when it comes to the loot, so military base, Pochinki, Yasnaya, people can be so afraid to jump there because there might be a lot of people that no one will jump there, right? And then we have seen this situation here with Pochinki, and now the second time it might happen when people will be rotating. So if they're gonna take the vehicles and gonna cross to the circle, they might avoid Pochinki because they think that already someone will be there, right? And now no one knows if anyone is actually rotating already, because some teams could have already taken the vehicles and just go directly into the circle.
Yeah, that is a very fair point to have been made right now. Let's see, Kavorka does look to be split up again, a 3+1 strat. I'm not too sure what the fourth one is. I can't see. I can see only Kavorka and two of his teammates on the north side of George. Perhaps the third one is in there if we zoom in. We might no. He's actually not into that one. Perhaps he died early on. We have seen a frag.
Kinguin already with 3 members, by the way. Havo Gaming as well.
That is interesting to say the least.
Probably something with the PCs.
69 players left alive out of 72. That's something definitely happened. We'll find out. A reconnection would have been possible. I'm not too sure why it didn't occur. Anyway, in the meantime, though, we see my least favorite place being looted by FlyQuest. I completely despise navigating through the water. I'm a Romanian man. We don't like water.
Okay. I thought you will say something like, oh, it's so inefficient to loot because of the water. It's making you so slow. Or the loot is not that great. Or the buildings just suck, you know.
That as well, yes, exactly. Okay. Now, AAA are going to be greeting some guests. It does look like Random are heading straight into them, and they're not heading in with any vehicles so far. It seems they might have vehicles. I'm pretty sure of it. No, they don't. Doesn't look to be any kind of car or bike close to them. So Team Random, they should know. They should definitely know that AAA love to play Milta. So Random are just going to be going away from that area. But they're soon going to have to cross it again, because where they are right now is nowhere near the next white.
And we have 2 boats south of Milta.
AAA might take one of them.
Wow, this is a fantastic job for the teams in the Gorgopol circle. But the question is, was someone even paying attention towards dropping, right? Because the first drop, I believe, has the highest percentage of being taken by any team, since let's say in most of the circles that you're gonna see first, there only will be like 2-3 teams that will be even there, right? So they can make the risk assessment and say, well, you know what,
it's worth it.
Yeah,
we'll
it's like 10% you're gonna die in that first circle. So just go for it with the bike and try to take the anti-drop.
I'll take that percentage and double it up. Now, let's see what Kinguin are doing. They're moving themselves already from the south of George. It does seem like they're finding some cozy spot close to Quarry. As Ibiza still left into South George just to have a bit more loot, perhaps. Why not? Wouldn't he? He does have a vehicle to work with here. He's going to be grouping up with his teammates if FlyQuest allow it, because Hetroar is kind of in the way. We'll see how that one pans out. Ibiza has been given the green light that actually there's no team on that area there. He might have a bit of surprise there if Hetroar actually decides to stop by the compound that he is currently slowing down to. We'll see how that one pans out. In the meantime, though, we do see another team. Let's see how Dignitas fare out as they head straight into Gambia.
A little bit. This might be a little bit unfortunate for Suntouch, because driving through those fields on a bike might be risky. But he's doing a good job so far.
Yeah, he actually didn't fire off. He was afraid of getting knocked out by a vehicle. There's 3 of them actually right here. Suntouch 1, there's Liquids with another Baiku. And the
Ooh, here we
biker
go.
gang completes with
Oh.
the special one. Spike just showing us how it's not done.
How did he not fall off of it? He was like,
Now that's one way to actually come into the camera. You know, you see 2 cool bikers like, yeah, here's a flip. Yeah, here's me jumping. They're like, hey, wait for me, guys. It was literally that moment
it's
right
like
there.
Patrick
Oh,
from
Lordy.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, there you go. Patrick did manage to stay on the bike though there, so Spike is still going to be pushing forward. No problem there. Balak in the meantime from TOM will hold on to his spot there as he waits for his teammates to come in from Yaznaya, drop from Yana. And now most of the teams are starting to make their way inside, and there's a super high concentration right smack dab in the middle of the first white.
It's interesting to see that some teams already made the first rotation 5 minutes into the game. So this is based upon the circle placements, of course, because if you have the occasion to take the, 2-3 vehicles and already move into the circle, it's a good opportunity since you know you might be encountering just one team in front of you.
And we see the circle actually on the second map. We see plenty of cars actually moving into here. This is going to be dropping the frames fantastically to an insane amount, especially to the people that are quite close to them as well. So safe cross for those vehicles as they make their way together to the first circle. There's just one team that's actually left outside, and that's going to be FaZe. But FaZe does actually have a boat to work with here, so it's not going to be all bad. All things considered, let's watch this drop as it comes down from the sky. It's Santa time. And this present, let's see if it's going to be for good boys or naughty ones. We're going to be catching it. We can do it. I'm sure we can do it. Oh, look at Mini Fridge. He's actually taking shots on outside of the screen there.
And the
that was
UAZ is below
Dignitas,
50%.
Yes, it is. But oh, what counter shots come in from Andrea Rectu? Has a lobby showing up? I think so.
By the way, if you have a second screen or
Oh!
a phone or a laptop, iPad or whatever,
I think everyone
be
does.
sure to turn on the second stream, which is Global Loot League 2, because there you have a permanent minimap. And that is a fantastic tool to just get to know the mindset, the tactical approach of teams, especially since this circle is such an unusual circle and teams will have to adapt to it.
Exactly, and one more thing, right? Because you're probably a fan of one of the teams or probably a fan of a couple of the teams that are in there, so you kind of want to know how they're faring. And because PUBG is built the way it is, we're always going to be missing fights. You can't watch everything all the time, so it makes it that much better that you can actually see the map and see your favorite teams rotate into the circle, and you can follow their story as much as you need. You can set it to low quality, of course. You don't need to have it on play all the time. But it's definitely an improvement. So just copy paste the link that you have right now for Twitch, just /Global Loot League, add the number 2 at the end, and there you go, you have it. It's going to be the second stream indeed. Congrats for GLL for actually pulling that one off. It's actually pretty cool, a pretty cool thing to have.
Not only for the viewers, but also for the teams.
Seen it before, yeah. And look, viewers have been asking for it for quite a long time.
It was, I think, a Reddit idea, like
For a lot of works.
3 months or something like that.
GLL wasn't even into that one, so there you go. And
Shiv
GLL
got
are the
knocked
champions.
out by, well,
Falling
I'm
with the
guessing
bike.
his own bike.
Yeah, definitely. We're not going to be looking at the murder scene too long. He will get a res, though. There is something to be said about Liquid actually coming
But
close
look
to him.
at this rotation.
But Oraxi is going to be coming in to help him as well. Let's see if someone actually dares to...
School stopped, and he's gonna
Oraxi!
take shots at AAA. But for some reason, he didn't take additional shots after hitting the first one.
Yeah, and Oraxi just camping behind his strike.
Actually, I
Right,
think he
just
didn't
make
hit
it
him.
out.
That was just a resurrection.
He did hit him once. There was some blood splatter coming out of him.
Oh, that
Yep.
was close then.
Indeed, quite close it was. Now Scoom's going to be bandaging himself up. But these
at
lads
this
are
weapon.
barely in the circle. They're going to have to make some sort of a move
scope.
forward. Scoom holding on to the same spot. He knows exactly where his enemy is, but he also needs to watch for his behind. He knows that there's players left and right, so there's something to be learned from that situation there. Another shot coming in from a different, to a different team rather. That different team might just put up a fight. Let's see if it happens indeed. Nope, they're still going to be trucking forward here. Still going to try and go, but it doesn't really knock out. Andrea Rectu will get rather wrecked himself. And still that UAZ exploding, and a late shot from Shadow steals the frags from Scoom. That's some good frags coming in for AAA right now. And
That was so close for Azimuth Lobby to actually be in the clear after the hill, but man,
look at that mess. And that's such great loot for whoever gets there first. Perhaps it's going to be AAA. Perhaps it's going to be Liquid themselves. But Liquid themselves are now caught between a rock and a hard place. It's not going to be easy for him to actually get out of the situation they thought they had Araxi in their hands, but somehow he slipped through the fingers, and he's going to be making a move for it soon, as Shiv is going to hold onto his back. Jempty as well. I don't know what can you do with the dodge there when Shiv actually scopes into you with an 8x. Shots taken. Ooh, Zant actually gets dinked down quite handily.
Well, how did that happen?
Not too sure, but it was definitely not the not Shiv's Kar 98. I think it was just the other members out of AAA actually putting good effort in there. Now, Penta trying to breach into the side of a compound. It does look like they might actually make their way. And actually, they're in the Shrek swamps.
Shrek swamps?
Yeah, man. Get out of my small donkey. No, nothing.
No dragons there?
No, I mean, you know, if you smoked enough, I guess. I don't really know. But yeah, there you go. Real is going to have to really hold on to his ankle here. He's got plenty of enemies coming to him. James, and it does look like Ultra indeed. They're going to head straight forward to try and stay Frost if they can. But Real
Is
won't
Blank?
really allow them to do that.
That's Blank's
Yep.
last member, I think.
Yeah, I think he's the last one staying alive. Or at least two of them here in this situation. They're definitely the last one stay alive now, as we see Something from a different perspective take them down. And that makes things actually easier for Penta, but only for a second. Something comes in with the knock, and that's going to be quite an unfortunate moment for Penta as FlyQuest are flying in.
Well, that was a Mexican standoff. 3 different teams from 3 different angles. So it's quite unfortunate for Penta, but at the same time, I think they're safe here on the north side.
I don't know. There's a lot of ridges. Yes, there's a lot of ridges to this.
You can't even
Can't.
like travel through it because you can just jump down.
Look at this though. Look at FlyQuest actually pushing forward. Now the res did happen indeed, but the push is going to be continuing here, and they don't have the shots uphill. Blue's going to be finishing off what he started. No, he actually doesn't get the final frag. James is low on HP as well. Just one nade is going to put an end to him, and if it's well placed, it will indeed. The nade does fly in. We'll see if James is affected by it there. He, in the meantime, pops a first aid kit, but that nade does not actually connect, so Something moves in. That AK close range wrecks him, and there goes Penta off the map.
That
Quite
was-
early on.
That was a death box. Actually, there was no way of making any kind of escape without being fully, in the open. So,
I'm all about boxes, but that's not one of them. Yeah, envious now. Caden, more specifically, is taking shots at Havu, and that's not a team you really want to take shots at. They're very, very good at long range. Havu, insanely good riflers, insanely good hunters, and snipers galore.
but we have seen Caden pull off some really
We
sick
did.
shots
True.
with Car and M24 yesterday.
Yeah, Caden ain't no joke.
Yeah. This time he doesn't have that equipment though.
Yeah.
He's only, I think, sporting an M4 with a 4x.
And we didn't actually get to see the second rifle, but that's okay because we have another squad actually moving in towards. And it does look like they're not going to have an easy time crossing in. They're closing on to the South Gatka fields. And as they do, they're heading straight into their enemies. Fuzzy Potatoes spots them, takes some shots. Not connecting any though. But now gives away the position of his own team. His own team, which is still trying to grab something. Look at Snake's position. This is actually perfect to play from the edge of that balcony. That's going to be coming in very, very good for him later on.
So it's Hooligans versus Quick Math. Quick Math was very impressive yesterday, actually,
yeah.
during the qualifiers. Also, the unspoken hero, Havoki, I think that was, if I believe correctly, who rescued his team by blocking an entrance to the shack by
Yeah.
just moving there while being knocked
Allowing
out.
him to get a first aid in.
Yeah, that was a
Beautiful.
sick move.
Absolutely. Quick maths really know how to think quickly on the spot. They know how to calculate their chances, so to speak. Let's see if they do the same here. They're not caught in a nice area here, but at least they can make their cover somewhere on the northeast side. They can actually use the UAZ and use the houses where they are as cover. Even if there's a huge trench to be taken into consideration, still, both of the teams here are playing at the edge of the circle, and this is not something that you normally see, at least for quick mats, who normally just try to snake their way closer to the center. This time around, it doesn't really pan out. They're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. Perhaps they just stopped a boost, but now it's going to have to turn into a fight.
What do you think about the new smokes, by the way? Do you like them more than the old ones?
Every day,
All right. Well,
every single day.
they will
much
probably
better.
make a change
They-
in the metagame as well. right?
Absolutely, absolutely. The pros love it as well. The way they plume from the inside out, those smokes every day. Yeah, let's see how Envy are doing in the meantime. They're spreading shots left and right. It does look like they have TOM to their north and Havu still to their south. As they try to find some frags, it's not going to be happening. Gambino is well close to them. That's a lot of teams in the same exact area, and it doesn't make things any easier for the ones that want to make their way in, and that's going to be FaZe as well. Triple A as well. Triple A is going to have an easier time going in, but FaZe, I don't know how far they can actually reach. Now, look at Quick Mats. They've set their enemies on foot. Fuzzy Potato eats up a few bullets, but not too bad.
Pretty close to the forest, so easy cover for them. Would I have to be shot twice in the head to actually be knocked out?
They left him on foot. Oh, Maiko.
Oh, well, he's gonna be just quiet and then move by when the other team will move, so he can give informations to his teammates when they can make an assault.
Oh, look at that beautiful camera work. Did we say that AAA were safe? Never mind, I take that back. Liquid, just to their northeast, and AAA are gonna stop to a compound, which is currently not taken. Yes. But I think they've been heard by their enemies. They are definitely close range. They're like 200 meters far away with the vehicle. So yes, Liquid know what's up. But as Liquid go forward, it does look like they take down the one guy who dared to take their name. Liquids is no longer on the map. And I'm not too sure if that's going to be the end of Dignitas. Yes, it is. We see it with a big red X on the left of the stream. Another innovation that GLL are presenting to you, and that's kind of very, very good. Also another easy way to track your favorite team and see how they're doing. Most of the teams, as you can see on the left side here, have a full squad. There's not a lot of solo players. Just Ronin Esports trying to snake their way into that.
Kind of fits, right? Ronin, a single guy, solo player, right? Fits to the mentality of a kicked out samurai.
Yeah. Good point. Yes, they're very lonesome wolves.
Yep. Ooh, nice shots from Tumai.
Oh. Actually steals the frag. He actually steals the frag. It was FaZe that knocked him out. Two of the Havel players knocked out by FaZe. So they're in a dire spot right now. I thought it's going to be FaZe that are in a dire spot, but no. These guys, well, they greet everybody else with bullets to the head everywhere they go. Yeah, it was Dumai that stole that frag indeed, and now he's going to be busy rezzing his own teammate, and it does look like Pride will get a second chance at life. But FaZe moving into them, it's going to be Havu that has to have to find a side flank as well. So I think Havu, more than likely, will have to put up a fight with Gambino here.
It's important to point out that many teams in those circles are just going to fire at anything that moves to scare away the other teams. Because if you have a compound and you don't want to be like surrounded by enemies, you need to make sure that everyone knows that you're here. So you need to make a statement, even if you don't have a chance of hitting or that you're giving away your position. It's still worth it because people, if they'll see a compound, they will not approach it.
Absolutely. Even if you're alone, you have to make that noise. You have to bait your enemies into thinking that there's plenty more. Balak, still standard for TOM. And if we look at the map for just a second, we see that his teammates are actually standard as well. I'm not too sure how that was an instant frag on whoever died earlier that I thought was from TOM. But it does look like they're doing it not too bad. They still have to go. I mean, Balak still has to go through Team Ghost Gaming, who we saw can perform out of their minds in the previous match.
Gambino taking shots at FaZe and knocking out Gempty.
This is perfect for Havu. They're going to be quite happy with this one. They're not even going to take the battle. They know that this is favoring them much, much better than if they would have taken shots. But now, look at this one.
Gambino's taken out by Liquid. They have taken, a lot of shots and made some noise, so Liquid knew exactly where to point at.
They did indeed, and now Ollie keeps on trucking 8x Mini. Nothing bad to snicker at. And he does have, it's pre 1.0, so it's not nerfed yet. The Mini 14 is an absolute laser. So there you go. Some good frags. But in the meantime, Balak, we did see him try to make his way towards Team Ghost Gaming, but Mikoi puts a stop to that. Now, let's have a look at Havu as they try to move into another place where they think they're safe, but Dizzy is just ahead of them. My lord, can they even see him? Look at him snaking in there. Oh my god, that's such a perfect place to be, hiding inside the water area. Can you even see a part of his body? That is absolutely...
I don't think so.
That is stunning, man. Look at Dizzy. Look at the snake.
But is it possible for him to breathe there? That's the question.
I mean, look, maybe he's got a little tube.
I mean, he's using prone, so he cannot be in water because you cannot prone in water. So I'm assuming he's not using any...
shallow water, so I think it works.
Wow. That is a spot. Look at this.
You can just see his backpack, man. Look at this. Is Dizzy's POV. This is what he's seeing right now. Just a couple of algae in the water. He's gonna have an easy time in there. Not a care in the water. He knows exactly what's going on. He knows that there's two players close to him. But those players, oh, they're none the wiser. Two boats passing in the night. Lol. That's a nice one from Dizzy. That's something to learn. Actually, that's actually something to learn.
Is he in the circle? I
He's
think
gonna
he
be
is,
quite
right?
safe. He is. Yeah.
So that's the
quite okay.
last member of Ronin Esports. So
That's a
if-
perfect way to snake.
exactly.
That's an ideal place to snake. Samty though gets knocked out by Monkey. Monkey from the safety of the compound. They seem to have moved out now. They're in the swamps, but they're putting some good shots. Ouch! Audi eats up a lot of damage. I'm not too sure if he can actually res Samty before Triple E getting there. AAA know exactly what to do. They saw the knockout. They knew how much damage they dealt to the other guy, and now they're moving in quite fast. But Moman has some return. Those nades, nowhere close to Triple E. What is Shiv doing? Is he in the disco? Did you see the lights on him for a second?
He was hacking shadows.
Panic at the disco, bro.
That was a glitch in the Matrix. It was a deja vu.
Did you what?
Deja vu.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Monkey taking shots, coming through with the frags, and that's going to be the end of Liquid, actually. I do believe so, if I do say so myself. Yep, that's indeed the end of Liquid. AAA make quick work out of them. They don't even take 2 breaths to end it all. Now,
Oh no, Ronin Esports got eliminated. We didn't see what happened with our
Oh.
snake, but he died.
yes, he did indeed. Havu Gaming on the southern edge there. They're trying to run away from FaZe, but so is Gambino. And FaZe just behind them. Might just spot Gambino right as they go above this little hill. Let's see if they do see their enemies. Yep, they spotted them indeed. But they kind of know that they need to make their way towards the safety of the next white. And they don't want to let off any shots that are unnecessary. Because if they do that, they're going to be gate kept. And that's the worst thing to have when the circle becomes smaller. Because now chunks are going to really start to come out of the players as the blue hits you like a trucker. Or a mother trucker.
And we have trucks in the new map. So
Beep, beep.
FaZe
beep.
taking shots.
Oh, that's a fair trade, actually. Makes you still going to be on the push. But now this time around, see, this is exactly what happens. They take a few shots, and their enemies know exactly where they are. So, Havu's going to be putting some effort into keeping FaZe away. FaZe have already lost 1 member, so it's going to be that much harder for themselves to get into the circle there. And they're going to be in between 2 teams now. Let's see if they have a chance at this.
I very much like this area for finishing circles because it might look like an open circle, but at the same time you have a lot of spots where you can just crouch, prone behind a small rock, and a lot of crevices that you can take for cover.
Crevices indeed. Right, let's see if FaZe get out of this one because they're in a very, very hard spot. Actually, no, look, it's just going to be Havu that has the angle onto them. Oh, Gambino all of a sudden are gone off the map. I do believe so. I think so. Don't count me out. Whoever's doing the maths into the actual side panel there. No, it does look like Gambino still have 2 members. Nope, they're gone. Yes, indeed, they're gone. So FaZe have 1 less thing to worry about. Now they just have to worry about Jorski and Insolenso. But oh, look at Jempty with a side flank there. Just a couple of shots with the M16 will do the trick. And Insolenso all of a sudden, he's going to take a page out of the book of someone he saw earlier. And he will snake himself inside the water. But I don't think he knows how to hide. You're pretty much visible, mate. Oh, he heard me. He's moving out.
Oh, he saw someone now in the blue, if I'm not mistaken.
And he knows where Jempty's coming in from. I don't think he's going to be live for too long. And Silenzo might just get the frag on Jempty because Jempty needs to make a move just after he heals up, right? But as soon as Silenzo fires off, the rest of FaZe are going to come on very aggressively on him.
Not sure if maybe he should have just peeked while his opponent is approaching the circle, right?
He can hear him. He can hear him. That's it. There's that 1 frag that we're talking about. Now it's going to be FaZe that are actually going to be peeking on that angle. And they're coming in quite fast. Look at Fuzzface's HB. He's definitely, surely not going to be peeking in like that. You can't be that much more of a hero. But he is. And at the end of the day, he comes through with the frag. But that's not going to be enough. It will be Judge that actually takes him out.
How did you pronounce that?
Random. Judge.
How do you even say that? JHH. Team Random.
What does it
With
mean?
a random nickname.
What does it mean?
No clue.
All right, let's see the circle, though. All right, so it's on the eastern bank of the previous one. It's one that doesn't see that many teams inside, and the ones that are already in there are going to be firing off crazily. It looks like King would have a decent spot at that, but there are 3 members still in there. They're going to have to be careful how they approach this one. Dribble in the meantime into a fight face-to-face with Envious. And it does look like Envious are worse for the wear here. AAA, though, have lost themselves some members as well. Actually, no, it's just going to be Shiv. And Avenger coming in from the back angle there with Chris from TOM. Hyenaing this battle and finding the victims and putting them out of their misery. Look at Shiv just behind this little ridge, healing up as well as Shadow, but they're outside of the blue, and they're going to have to crawl in. There's no way that they can get up. Will they?
Even if you get up, you can't really shoot because that that will just give your opponent's information. Where are you? And you still need to make it to the circle. So AAA now visible, and this is gonna be a death sentence for them. Everyone inside the circle knows where to shoot at people.
Absolutely. And there goes one down.
Well, that's a good tactic. If you will be able
Drop the
to...
meds. Oh, that's
he
the end of
didn't.
Triple E.
He wasn't able to heal up in the circle.
Nay. That will be
It was
an 8.
close. I think he was actually 1 second away from using that 8 kit.
And that's just one for Team Theater of Mayhem. They just have Avenger in there. Not to say that it's not enough, man. This guy, machine gun. If you ever seen Arnold Schwarzenegger, well, he copied his looks from Avenger, and that's a fact. Nookie is going to be pushing into Kinguin, and let's see if it's all about the Nookie this time around. I don't think he wants to do that because Larson and Abis are up. Yes, sure, Gaxi might not be into this one here, but still, these guys can absolutely tear down their opponents. But there's something to be done in this position. They can't really hold on to the spot too long. Even if they have the circle, they're open from both sides. No cover.
We were talking about the solo player from Theater Mayhem, and the SM is for envious, but the problem is every other team has 4 members or 3 members, so it's so hard to just find a spot to have cover.
And there's that random opener. This is exactly what we're talking about earlier on. The fact that you're in the open is going to be that much more difficult. Piskin, though, taking some fast shots out of his enemies. Gets the frag as well from Alex on fire. And Reaper of Horns also die. Is that the end of Quickmass? No, it's not.
Quickmass
Nookie
is still Nookie has his
Nookie's still there.
last member
But
alive.
look at how much this circle is going to bite into him. This one's not going to be easy to heal up from. And yeah, Team Rounder will have his angle. They will have an easy time taking him down. Kinguin and Larson in the meantime, they're find some frags themselves, and now they're going to be facing Team Random. I think they're face to face as they do hide behind a shack right at the edge of the cover. But oh, Larson, he has to make it out, and the circle is really strangling him. 1 HP and he pros into the grass there. I don't know if Team Random actually spotted him, but Larson looks like he might have a second chance at life. No, he doesn't.
And that was from Nookie, right?
That was from Piskin.
But Nookie in the meantime took 2 people from Team Random but died inside the play zone. It's unfortunate for him. I think he was pushed to start shooting when he was still in the blue. Otherwise, he would just, advance quickly into the circle and then take shots.
Little Bees are trying to heal. He's outside the blue. Team Random know exactly where he is. This works out perfectly for Avenger because Team Random are going to have to move into the open there. They think, there's probably 2 members from Team Kinguin that we have to kill, but that's not true. Avenger can come in at the end of the day here and find himself some good frags. What he cannot do, though, is find cover. Everywhere he goes, if you can see on the right side of the screen, is open. So Ibiza, well, he's trying to play for placements, but Avenger's nowhere near to actually getting up from where he is. He's quite happy with his bush, man, and I wouldn't really count him out of this one. I think it's going to be TOM for second place, as Ibiza will be running out of meds quite soon.
Even with meds, it's just impossible to sustain that end circle.
Yeah.
So now it's Avenger versus Team Random, and it's 3 versus 1. Will he pull it off? I mean, if he pulls it off, this is a legendary play.
He's got a rock to his right, but that rock's not in the circle. He's just going to be snacking around. Team Random in the meantime, they don't really give too many cares in the world.
And they're going to have high ground right now, so they might be able to spot him instantly.
Did he ditch his level 1 backpack? I think he did. It doesn't really matter. He will get killed in the end. He tried to make himself slim, but it doesn't work for Avenger. We love you for the thickness that you have. Still, though, he does get second place.
He was the solo player while there were 30 people still alive. So he went from 30th to 4th, basically, member alive in the entire game. So fantastic play by Avenger. Worth noting, Kinguin did start with 3 members, only 3 members, and took the 3rd place. So this should solidify the first placement after 3 games.
Gaxi misplaced his shots, so he had to go for them this match. Yeah, no problem.
I see. All right. Well, Quick Maps this time doing well, really well, taking the 4th place. But still, Team Random, decent amount of kills as well, 9 kills.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. And we see Envious as well popping up in the top 5, which is something that we've seen in the previous match as well. Envious, again, a team that don't necessarily show. They don't have that kind of a rock star mentality to go in and flash like Ghost Gaming often do. They go in for the nice kills, they go in for the beauty of the game. But Envious kind of just play this one slow, and they just kind of they come in from the behind angle and they find themselves in a good spot.
You can say that they don't have that mentality, but yesterday they were just the opposite play style of today. Yesterday they were going for all those shots, for all those aggressive kills, and it was seen in the results. There were a lot of kill points for them, and they did take the 4th place, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
just by having that amount of kills. So
Yeah, true.
today, I think they are approaching the game a little bit differently.
That's
since
literally
it's-
what got them in. That one match when they had 23 frags or something like that.
that was Dignitas.
Sorry, yeah, Dignitas.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, my mistake.
But in general, I think that what they did for like the change of the mentality for the beginning of the grand final is fine, since they need to just take notice of what the other teams are doing and then change or just estimate what they need to do for the future games.
Yeah.
We have 7 games today. That's incredible to just play in one day. So it's a lot of endurance for the players.
A point to be made is that they also have a break in between. I think from 4 to 5 they're going to have a bit of a break. Players, we need to give them. Here goes the
Here we
special
go.
boy. Hey, what's up, guys? Wait for me. As he dares to peek.
How did he not kill himself?
Here she
I
goes.
don't
I
know.
love this from production. They have to do this. Look at him. Wee. Slap.
So on 1.0,
Oh man,
I
he
think he would have
tried to
just
do something
died.
cool. Yeah, on 1.0 he probably would have been gone.
this is the explosion for Azimuth Lobby, if I'm not mistaken.
Monkey, I think. I think Monkey exploded the cars. No, Shadow exploded the cars. So he
But,
had
but
the position on the
Azimuth
right
died
side.
in that car. So that's the problem for them. Oh, look at that. They're already behind the hill from one perspective for one team, but Liquid did have some shots from the other angle as well. So they had just gave that
It worked perfect.
yeah, that missing damage was added by Liquid. So it was quite unfortunate for them.
Yeah, it was indeed just to go into a meat grinder that
Yeah.
was made from 2 of the best teams in the world. It happens sometimes. It kind of happens. It happens more often even in duos. In squads, you can have kind of a safer cross because
Mhm.
most of the teams take one compound, and then there's less spread. There's
Sure.
much less spread. Now, what do we have in the books for you? What can we predict for the next one? Well, a bit of a break, but we'll be right back with the game number 4. And after that, I think we're going to give a slight break to the players. They need a bit of a respite. They need a bit of a breather, and they'll get just that because it's a long freaking night for PUBG.
Yeah.
But it's an awesome one at that. So
So-
Lothar and Boogie signing off. See you in a few minutes.